They were all orange trees, and they were plucking them out of the ground like there was no end. Uh, we went up to Sacramento,
Mhm.
and we started a project in Santa Barbara.
Right.
We kind of worked our way down the coast. We were doing some work in San Bernardino County. We pretty well covered most of California, from Sacramento south. But we never went out of the state.
And you wound up here because you were just flying your plane.
Well, I did travel to my projects by air.
Uh-huh.
It was just that there was plenty of demand here,
Uh-huh.
in California. And you could still build reasonably inexpensive homes. The first homes that we built for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with real hardwood floors, real plaster walls, fireplace, everything, utilities hooked up, ready to move in,
Mhm.
$14,000.
Yeah.
Everything.
Sure.
You couldn't buy a building permit for that now.
No, you couldn't.
What year was that, you think?
Well, I'd say that going back goes into the early 50s, 60s, I'm sorry. 19, yeah.
But so, where did you grow up and go to school?
I grew up in Los Angeles, Southwest Los Angeles.
Okay.
Went to school in that area. George Washington High School, which is basically where almost where LA International is right now.
I don't know. What year did you graduate?
I'm sorry,
What year did you graduate?
19. I got out a little bit early because I enlisted in the Air Force.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, in other words, but if you enlisted at that time, they gave you a little specialty as far as graduation.
Oh,
And I'm trying to think here, 1940, '42.
so you went into what would have been the Army Air Corps then, right?
Well, yeah, I had enlisted in the Army Air Corps
Okay.
at that time.
And so then you flew B-29s?
Yes,
Were you the pilot?
yes.
Okay. Where were you flying? Europe?
In Pacific Theater.
Pacific Theater? Wow. And so And then what did you do after the war?
I went to work for my uncle,
Okay.
who was a developer and plumbing manufacturer.
And then did you start your own company?
Then I started my own company.
Okay. Do you know when you did that? What year?
Try to work my way back here.
Yeah, it's
You know,
okay.
my memory says, you'd think I'd do little things like that, but, I started the construction company in 1957.
Oh. And what was the name of that? Was that Cavanaugh Construction?
It was called Rose Glen Construction.
Huh.
We did have a Cavanaugh development, but that didn't come till later.
Okay. And as Rose Glen Construction, that was in Los Angeles?
That was in Los Angeles.
And then how long did you have that? Before you formed?
Before I changed it,
Yeah.
I'd say that we worked under Rose Glen Construction until well, we had more than one company.
Oh,
So we were working under Rose Glen Construction, under Cavanaugh Development, and we had another corporation called Amberwood Construction.
oh. When you say we, who was it besides you? Was it?
When I say we, we're talking about my wife and I.
Oh, okay. It's just the two of you.
We didn't have any partners.
Okay.
She's the only partner I had.
Wow. And so, why did you you went into business for yourself? That was pretty.
Excuse me.
Why did you go into business for yourself? How did that happen?
Why did I do it?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I never really did think much of working for other people.
Okay.
And I was young and restless.
And so, at some point you came down here. You flew down here, right? You're just flying over and.
Well, basically, the way I came onto this property is I was working with Prudential Savings and Loan,
Uh-huh.
and they owned a large parcel of property at the intersection of 76 and 15.
Okay.
And it was at that whole area at the southeast corner they owned. And they wanted to review it, and I flew them down to do that. And while I was here, they mentioned that there was a beautiful area in the Del Mar area.
Mm-hmm.
And we flew over that area, and we were really enhanced. this valley right here. And they indicated that if I could put something together, they would finance it.
Hmm.
So, we found the owners of the property, and we made a deal to buy the property where Whispering Palms now stands.
Jan told me that you made the deal, you saw the bean, it was a bean field,
It was a bean field.
and you saw the man who owned it, and you talked to him while he was sitting on his tractor.
Well, the fellow that owned it was Ray Huard. And he was really an interesting guy. He liked to farm it himself. And he had a tractor, and he didn't have anybody working for him. He'd just do it.
Mhm.
So whenever you wanted to talk to Ray, you had to go find him, and usually we found him out on the tractor. So we struck a deal, and
So he was on the tractor when you made the deal?
yeah.
Okay. Oh, and his name was Ray?
Ray Huard,
Okay.
a longtime resident of the ranch.
And so, okay, did you think it was kind of odd to be making a deal on somebody sitting on a tractor?
You know, we made lots of deals in those years, and sometimes they were on tractors, sometimes they were in coffee shops, you know, any way you could do it. It wasn't like today. That was a different era.
So when you did it, Jan was telling me that your plan was for a golf course. And that's how it started? This whole development, Whispering Palms, started as a golf course?
Yes. Mhm.
Why a golf course?
Well, golf courses were in vogue then. A good recreational development would have to have some sort of facilities, and golf courses were big in San Diego.
Huh.
And they were big in Orange County at that time too. The Japanese were just getting into learning how to swing the ball, the golf club.
Right. So you built the golf course first, right?
Yes,
Is that the one that's still here?
yes.
So when did that open? Do you know?
Well, we ended up selling that golf course,
Oh,
and
but first you built it,
we built the golf course. Then we developed.
Whispering Pines,
The first development was right across the street.
the condos.
Mhm.
Okay, but so, let's see, I'm trying to get the timeline right. You bought the property, what, around 1960?
Well, let's see.
That's okay.
My age is catching me.
Well, you'd see, I'm trying.
We recorded the first map.
Probably around the early 60s, because you, right?
It would have been
Around 62.
about 1960.
Yeah, okay. we're going real back, way back now. Okay, so the idea was, I guess, you built the golf course and then you'd build the housing because you needed to have the golf course as the amenity first?
Well, our original plan had plans for 611 residential units,
Okay.
but that was modified as time went on. It's almost, I guess, pretty close to that right now.
What is it now?
It's a little, probably about the same, right?
Yeah, I think it's 601, maybe somewhere around there.
So
I'll
there's
double check.
condos and houses?
Houses, see, originally, the concept was to have all condos,
Oh,
but that changed. And we developed part of it as single-family homes and condos.
why did it change?
Well, there were a number of things that influenced that. One of them was the availability of sewer facilities. And that was the basic reason why.
So there were not enough sewer facilities to
Well,
support a condo?
we did have a sewer facility, but it was not a permanent one.
Oh,
And what happened was that during the construction, we had a huge rainstorm
oh,
and pretty well inundated our sewer facility. And required us to redesign that and build a new one.
oh, wow. So then what, the new one couldn't support all condos, or?
Well, it was a new one, serviced the whole Whispering Palms community.
Yeah. But I'm just trying to figure out why it went from condos to homes.
Oh, at that particular time, it wasn't a demand.
Oh, okay. Did you plan to have this center that we're in now? Was that always part of the plan, or did that
I
come?
mean, this development right here.
Right, the
Yes, in
retail.
other words, the plan always included a commercial center.
Mhm. But that's the last thing that got built, right?
Well, basically, that's the way it works, because you need the people first,
Right.
and then the commercials can come later, because you just need the people to be here to do the business.
Yeah, but it took 40 years?
Well, that's not the whole story. In other words, we attempted to develop it earlier,
Okay.
but we have got a lot of backlash. Not in my backyard. We want this. You know, they want something different.
So you had to overcome all this community opposition.
That's correct.
And how long did that take? Must have taken a long time.
It sure did. We started developing this particular parcel in about 19 uh, '89.
Wow.
Wow.
I have a set of plans that shows that I had a permit.
So you,
Oh my God.
The permit called, it was, basically it was commercial and, but it was a little different plan. Same architect.
mhm. So, God, that's a long time.
That's the way it was.
Is that, and there was that permitting problems, or just you had the opposite?
It was, they just didn't like it. They didn't, you know,
Huh. So, how did you overcome that?
uh, we spent a lot of money.
Okay,
Legal fees.
okay.
You know,
So the,
I'd say that's why a project like this, I probably spent $1 million in legal fees.
holy cow.
But that was just part of it. And we probably spent $500,000 on complying with CEQA laws.
Mhm.
It was very expensive, to say the least.
Yeah, but even so, to take from 1989 to what, 2017 to build it, that's,
But what, it didn't take that long to build it, it took that long to finally get county stamp of approval.
well, so when did you, do you know when that happened? When the county said okay?
Yeah, that was about,
I mean, it's pretty amazing it would take that long.
I'm just trying to think of when we finally got our grading plan approved. That was the key to the whole thing.
Huh. That's weird.
I guess that was about it. I'll have to give you an estimate.
Okay.
I think we got the grading plan approved in around,
Remember we went to the Pacific Coast Builders Conference and we had a toast. I remember in San Francisco. It was like June
what
of
year was that?
2014. Does that sound right?
That was too early, too late. That was earlier than that.
It was earlier than that. Okay.
I'd get that time for you, just call me. They
Okay.
got it up front.
So, what do you, now that you've finished this, what do you think of what you've got here? What do you think, having finally gotten everything done?
I mean, what was I thinking?
No, what do you, now it's done, right? And it took you this long. How do you feel having completed what you started so long ago?
Well, naturally, I'm relieved.
Yeah, but, wow.
And I couldn't have conceived that it would have cost what it cost to do. Because every year, there was some addition to the state requirements.
So how much do you figure it cost you to build this whole project,
How much did this cost?
everything,
I mean, the whole project
the
or,
whole thing.
or this, just this commercial portion of it?
Well, well, both, I guess.
Well, this portion that we just finished, I'd say 40 million.
Jeez. So, but I mean, I would think that after all that time, you would be pretty happy that you actually got it done.
I am happy like that. You know, the irony of it is that what I wanted to do, we were trying to do what was best for the community, always. But you had certain activists that they would fight it no matter what it was. Didn't make any difference. They just didn't want anything.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty nice, and I don't know what.
I like it the way it is.
Yeah, but no, nothing here. They didn't want it developed at all.
No, really, they were running their dogs on the land, and that was just great.
Oh,
You know, place for the dogs to poop. I just we're not interested in, it's gonna bring too much traffic. It's gonna do this, it's gonna do that, you know.
but you just kept going.
We just kept pouring dollars into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The plan changed though, right?
Pardon?
The plan changed over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
it did.
modifications were made to respond to the community
We
and to the
we
economy.
did modify the plan.
Yeah.
So what's different now than what you thought it would be?
What's different now than
Yeah.
what I
Now,
thought?
when you first started, you must have had some thought in your mind on what ultimately you wanted to build. And now you've done it. What's looking at it now? How different is it from what you thought it would be when you first started?
I don't think it's that much different.
Okay.
In other words, I think our original concept was right, and we built it with a few modifications.
Yeah. Okay. So through all this time, were you always working on it?
And other things at the same time, yes.
Okay. But was this your major project?
Yes. This is taking all of my time.
And you've been working on it right up to the time it was finished, right?
That's correct.
Jan told me, and Angela told me you come to work every day.
Absolutely. That's the way you get things done.
Okay. I mean, you ever think of retiring?
I can do that when I'm in the box.
So, okay, so what are you gonna do now? You finish this, what's that?
Well, I think I'm gonna take, letting them do that.
By then, you mean your grandson?
Yeah, let them learn the hard way.
Okay.
Hopefully we've learned a few things from you.
There's no easy way.
Okay, you still fly, right?
Mhm.
What kind of plane you fly?
I have a Tectum Sierra,
What's the name?
Mosque of Fame. That's his name.
Moss, like M-O-S.
Mosque.
That's the one you ride? How old is that horse?
Well, he's up in age now, like me. But
Okay.
I mean, he's still got a lot of spirit.
You know how old he is? Is it, I'm
He's
saying,
in his 20s.
is it a mare or a
Yeah, he's
stallion?
a stallion.
And but you have three others too.
Mhm.
3 stallions, mare?
No, like one of them's a mare, and she's kind of retired. And then I have a reining horse. His name is Crocodile Rock.
Oh, no. What kind of horse is that?
He's a reining horse. You know, you see these horses that run down and slide and turn,
Oh, yeah.
things like that.
So there's tricks, or
It's more of a cowboy thing.
do you ride him?
Yeah, sure I ride.
What? Okay, so he's a reining horse.
Mhm.
Do you do any of the tricks on the horse?
I'm
Do
sorry?
you do anything on the horse besides, like, you know, you said he does,
Oh, I ride them. Yeah, I ride them. My wife rides them. In other words, we bought him as a reining horse.
I never heard that term before, I'll have to look that one up.
Moscow, they call him Moscow, is a trail horse. He's a trail champion.
This guy's a national champion.
Oh, national champion of what?
Arabian horses and trail.
So he can do all of the maneuvers on Moscow, all the trail maneuvers, the different gaits and the footwork and going over the posts.
He can jump. He can do.
You ride him when he jumps?
Pardon?
You ride him when he
Oh,
jumps?
yeah. Ride him every week.
You should come see it. It's pretty. I take the grandkids. They love it.
Good Lord. I don't think I do that.
Everybody should have a horse. You know, the world would be a much better place if everybody had horses and no cars.
Okay.
He's my buddy.
Gorgeous. That would be a great photo. of
Riding a horse?
Richard with his horse. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna go ride him tomorrow.
You're gonna go ride him tomorrow?
Absolutely.
Okay, you ride him around San Marcos, or?
In San Marcos, yeah.
Yeah, the trail, they have a lot of trails there, right?
Well, we have a competition every weekend.
What do you do?
We have a course that we go through. Maybe it could be a jump, opening through gates, trotting over different poles, you know.
When you say we, who's we?
Everybody that keeps their horse there will join this competition. It's kind of a friendly thing that we do every week.
Does your wife do that too?
She used to, but she got thrown off and broke her shoulders. She isn't going to do it anymore.
Oh my. But she still rides, right?
She still rides, yeah.
How old is your wife?
78.
78. But so if she just does the riding, she doesn't do any of the jumping over things. Okay. And so what else do you do for fun? How did you manage to stay alive?
This is the most important thing. I mean, having a relationship with a horse like that is more important than anything else.
So I was just asking your grandson here, Caleb, if any of your sons or your daughter had gone into the business, but he said they hadn't, right?
No.
Did you ever encourage them to become builders too, or did you?
Well, she worked for me when she was going to college,
Oh,
but she had her hands full
with kids?
with raising a family and,
Okay.
you know.
So what do your sons and daughters do now?
Well, Caleb is working with me.
Right.
I have a grandson that lives in Long Beach who is in real estate. And I have another one living in Orange, in San Diego County, and he's more or less in the computer
Oh,
field.
but what about your sons? What do they do?
My son,
Yeah.
oh, he's in Bakersfield,
Okay.
and he's kind of just happy with what he's doing. You know, it's
Okay. What would you tell other people? I'm amazed. You're 93 years old and you sure as heck don't look it and you don't act it. Well, what would you tell people? How do they get to be like you?
just keep going every morning. Get up every morning and make it go. You know,
That's it?
that's the secret.
No secret?
In other words, it's easy to let down, but
No special diets?
no, I don't have any special diet.
Okay.
Well, he eats dessert at every meal.
You have to keep busy, though. That's the key to life. Having a goal, something to do. That's what I would tell people. Is the most important thing. Like I get up and I think about my horses, you know,
Yeah.
and I go visit the horses, and that's an important part of my life.
But what about then you come to work, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean that's okay. Her work will be there no matter what.
But would you, a lot of people just always think about retiring, and you never thought about
I
retiring.
never thought about it, and never going to think about it.
Okay. But so what do you tell? Would you tell people, don't retire, just keep going?
I'm just gonna go and enjoy my life and the things that I've put together. I'm gonna go to Hawaii and help my wife feed the cats.
She has cats?
They feed feral cats in Hawaii.
Oh,
Or feeds, her big thing in life is feeding feral cats in Hawaii.
huh. Do you have cats at home?
Not anymore. We had cats, but they died, and we don't have any more because we're gone so much we can't take care of them. But we do take care of cats, the feral cats.
Yeah, would you just put food out at night?
Well, does more than that. She belongs to an outfit called AvCats. AvCats.
AVCAT.
And we feed cats all over the island, in the big island where we're at. These people provide their food and the time and the effort, and they go out every morning to all the different cat colonies. And they're cats live in colonies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and every morning, these people go out and feed these cats and give them water, and
Huh.
if there's a sick one, they'll take it to a vet. And, it's really a wonderful group of people.
Do you do that too?
Absolutely,
When you go out with your wife
yeah.
and feed the cats
Mhm.
every day?
Well, it doesn't work that way. You have a group of people,
Uh-huh.
and you have a schedule. You work on a schedule, so people do it when different times
Oh,
when it's available. But it usually works out where we do it about 3 or 4 times a week.
wow. How many cats do you figure you're feeding?
Some of the colonies have 25 cats in it, and some of them will have maybe 15.
Why do you do that?
Because we like cats.
Okay. I guess you'd have to, wouldn't you?
I love cats.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a big thing in Hawaii.
Cats?
The feral cat situation, yeah.
Huh.
You know that most people don't know this, but Hawaii has a lot of wild animals.
Yeah.
Like there's herds of goats,
I never
Oh,
knew
yeah. and they'll come right up into your house,
that.
And there's just all kinds of chickens, wild chickens,
Everywhere,
every place.
everywhere, chickens.
Turkeys,
Okay.
yeah.
But, okay.
We have a regular parade comes up every night at a certain time when they know it's time to eat.
Turkeys?
Chickens, cats, you name it.
Oh, great. Super.
Oh yeah.
So you go out and you put out food for the cats.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
We,
Okay.
they're waiting. When we drive up,
That's
they
funny.
all come out like,
Yeah, I know in Japan that there's an island or something that's nothing but cats. Yeah, it's an island. Because my daughter went to Japan and she's really big on Japan. And they have this one little island and just overrun with cats.
oh, big deal.
So we just, they're everywhere.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting, people don't know really what's
Yeah.
what's going on with a kitty.
Okay, what do you like about cats?
You know, most people don't really get close to cats, but if you get close to cats, and I think that they're such interesting animals. They're so smart, and they're clean. They're just nice animals.
We've got 2 of them. One of them has never used a litter box in her life. So, I don't know.
Well, I guess there's all different people have different experiences, but generally cats are pretty clean.
Yeah, but that's just the one thing. It's weird. She will go right next to the litter box, but won't get in it.
Sounds like a psychological battle.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know it is because she would come over and I have a little office in the garage and she would come over and pee right in the doorway.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Nowhere else, just right there. So anyway,
Well, we just lost 2 cats that we had at home.
oh, I'm sorry.
They were Siberian cats.
Oh,
They were the most interesting animals I've ever dealt with.
Wow.
I mean, they were like dogs,
Yeah.
well, our cats drink out of the toilet bowl. It's like a dog. I think they're confused. They don't know what kind of animal they're.
But,
Is there anything else you think that would be important to get across about you or your project?
well, I think in the final analysis, it's turned out pretty well.
Yeah, listen, it's amazing. Your apartments and this retail center it's really nice.
That I think it's accepted by everybody now, as people that bought it are now coming in telling how much they like it. That's important,
Yeah.
you know. And I'd say generally it's accepted, period.
I'm just curious about one thing. Why apartments and not condos?
Well, they are condos, but we're renting them.
So what do you say when you say they are
They're
condos?
built as condos.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Well, in other words, the thing that differentiates apartments from condos basically is the actual construction of the building.
Oh.
Like if you look at these buildings, every unit has its own entrance.
Right.
Not like an apartment, you know, where you have a climb of stairs and you got a rail that goes along to every unit has a private entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, somewhere along the line, they'll be sold as condos. But we are going to rent them for the foreseeable future.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that makes them interesting, is that they're going to be able to rent a product at Rancho Santa Fe that's really a condo.
But Jan was telling me, is this the only apartment complex in?
It's the only one in Rancho Santa Fe.
I bet maybe you got a little opposition over that.
Probably there's somebody that's got something behind their house that's gonna say, no, I've got this for rent.
Yeah, but this is a whole complex. I mean, it's not.
But I think at one time there was a 3 or 4 unit apartment, and they converted them into condos and sold them.
Okay.
But no, this is it right now,
And how many units are there?
54.
54? How big are they?
They average around, call them 1,100 feet, that's close enough. Some
Yeah.
a little bit more, some a little less.
How much is the rent?
Well, right now we're asking around $3,000 only. Which is fairly competitive in this area.
So if somebody were like you and we're just starting out now, what's your advice to them?
Get out of California.
Oh, okay.
Don't do it here.
Oh. Okay.
Well, you can't do it here, so
You can't when.
takes two. Look at it like this. Young man like Caleb,
Yeah.
right now, he could do maybe 3 projects in his useful life as a businessman.
3? There's a whole bunch of apartments.
That's because of the time it takes to buy the land, to develop it, to do everything, meet all the requirements, put it together, and the amount of cash it requires. And he'd have to take partners in to do that. And it's not like it used to be.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
The opportunity is gone for young people.
I don't know. There's a whole lot of apartment building and condo building going on downtown.
I know, but those were planned a long time ago. I mean, you know, people have been working on those for 5-10 years,
Okay, yeah.
you know, and that when they finally get built, that's kind of the end of the line. But they probably, if you added it all up from the time they started working on it, it's got at least 10 years.
One other thing, Ray, other countries.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
It's been awfully nice to take the time to talk to me. I really enjoyed meeting you.
You just want to ride my horse.
No, I don't like riding horses. Thank you, that's very